president. Hashtag go boss. Black South Asian vice president. Hashtag go boss.
What's going on, everybody? I hope everyone's having a fantastic evening, afternoon, pre-noon, no matter where you are in the world. I'm Hasan Piker. This is the HasanAbi broadcast coming to you live from sunny California, Los Angeles, folks. We're live and alive, and I hope all the boys, girls, and MBs are having a fantastic one because today's a beautiful day. Today's a wonderful day. Today is a very special day, ladies and gentlemen. You already know what it is. A very special day. What is this? I'm trending. Oh, this is why I'm trending. I said Hasan Piker asks X followers if lives improved under Trump, draws mixed responses. Popular streamer Hasan Piker questioned his 1.6 million X followers on Thursday about whether their lives improved under President Donald Trump's second administration, receiving over 16,000 likes and nearly 2,000 comments reflecting economic hardships, policy approvals, and personal anecdotes. Responses range from complaints about rising costs and financial strain to rare claims of personal success independent of the administration of support for immigration policies. National polls indicate divided opinions, with 52% believing Trump is fulfilling campaign promises amid persistent economic anxiety and influence from Project 2025 as 2025 concludes. I said, is there anyone out there who thinks their lives are getting better under this admin? I get Twitter is the worst place to ask for this, but seriously, I just think in general, everything is getting worse. Like, maybe it's just my perspective. I don't know. Obviously, I'm in a unique position. I'm well positioned to be one of the very few people, a handful of different Americans that actually have the financial success where I if I wanted to, if I played my cards right, if I just like leaned into capital accumulation, for example, I could be positioned perfectly fine and actually make out like a bandit. But I don't do that because I'm a fucking idiot. It doesn't matter. That's not the point. But like, even then, there is just so much going on that is awful. It feels as though every day things are getting worse. There's so much fucking chaos at the domestic front. There's chaos in the foreign policy front. There's just chaos everywhere. And I don't think people's lives are getting better. Things are incredibly costly. Things are more expensive than they were before. It kind of feels like the system is breaking down and people are just like, well, what am I supposed to do about it? I have nothing that I can do about this. I just can only work my regular job and hope that I can fucking make ends meet. There are some who think like, well, at least we're owning the libs. You know what I mean? There's definitely some of those guys out there who are just like, well, we're owning the libs. But I don't think those guys are that prominent. Yeah, nothing bad can happen. Only good can happen. We're mass apprehending and arresting immigrants that are, one, doing jobs that no Americans want to do, no American citizens want to do, instead of like giving them the proper documentation to be able to work in the United States of America with the appropriate clearance. We're even taking away people's clearances when they do have that proper work authorization so that we can deport them. Oh no, my slave labor. That's a really fucked up way to approach this, because that's not my argument at all. My argument is we should abolish the slave labor-like conditions by giving these people the proper documentation and the proper work clearance, and then allowing them to participate in labor unions so they can improve their improve their living circumstances, improve their material conditions, demand more of the pay of the output that they generate alongside the rest of the already documented and existing American working class. That's my argument. My argument is in the direction of mass amnesty. My argument is in the direction of pro-labor always, right? And the problem is that's not even a condition that people are ready to recognize. Like they've completely shut off that side of the argument. Fair enough, but there should be proper vetting. I agree. I don't disagree with that. And the thing is, when people say like, oh, open borders, they want open borders. Like when people talk about open borders, they don't literally mean that, anyone and everyone can just like walk in and out with ease. Like, of course, there needs to be proper vetting and proper clearance. Proper vetting is a dog whistle. Come on, Hasi. No. I think it's important to acknowledge this. There is already a vetting process. These guys that were apprehending at courthouses have already been vetted by the federal government. And people don't understand that. They think these are people who just like snuck into the country and the government has no idea about who they are or where they are or what they do. It's just wrong. They actually are constantly checking in with ICE. ICE is now betraying the handshake agreement, I guess, that kept these people in the country and working to make a statement about mass deportations. They're simply using this as a way to make it seem like, to tell the most racist people in this country that like they're doing a good job, that they're literally fucking arresting people that are simply trying to make ends meet. It's very stupid. I think this is difficult to argue against. More Americans would be totally on board with doing these jobs if they paid higher, if they had better work conditions. And ironically enough, if they hired more people, for example, so that the workload was distributed evenly amongst a larger population of workers who were getting paid even more. We're so far removed from that argument right now. It's just like doesn't even make sense. We're also fucking hemorrhaging the brain drain. There's like a reverse brain drain now. We're immigrants of all sorts that propped up this country, that made the United States of America the greatest superpower in existence, was largely due to the fact that everyone wanted to fucking come here. Okay. There's obviously a lot of different reasons for it beyond that, but like everybody wanted to come here. All of the fucking high earners, all the people that come from a background of financial security, that got like education, they got college education, like they all wanted to come here. Like my grandfather, he was a fucking engineer. He was like a straight up serious engineer. And he came to the United States of America, and he didn't continue being an engineer. You know what I mean? Well, he also he became like a what is it called when you like sell houses and shit? A realtor. This story is like very, very common, right? It's a very common story. Like chemical engineers from like Afghanistan come to the United States of America and they become like cab drivers. You know what I mean? The reason why I'm bringing all this stuff up is because like that was a huge deal. That was what made America like such a competitive force around the world, you know? And now we're terrifying the fucking immigrant academics because they're woke and gay, because we're just so obsessed with this anti-intellectualist slant that we're engaging in. We just treat immigrants like dog shit. Documented immigrants, if they speak out against Israel, it's like, well, sorry, we're going to cut your research funding. Like, that's insane. That's an insane thing to do. Like someone was saying, we're cutting off our nose to spite our faces. But honestly, it feels even worse than that, because we're not even spiting our faces at this point. We're just cutting off our nose because we love cutting off our noses. That's what it feels like. And we're not even cutting off our nose. We're chopping our heads off. Let's get back to how everything is shitty. AI is one of the only industries that is a self-sustaining bubble that they've created. It's like a bunch of different companies getting subsidies and then funding one another over and over again. Without AI, I think there was like 0.1% GDP growth in this country this past year. Very cool stuff. That seems good. That seems normal. That seems awesome. Everyone is warning about an AI bubble, by the way. Not that it matters. It seems it doesn't matter. Buckle up. IMF and Bank of England join growing chorus warning of an AI bubble. And for me, it feels like, well, on the one hand, people are like, there's an AI bubble, but basically the counter to that is, nah, it's fine. Every warning sign shows that there is there's perhaps an AI bubble that is imminent versus, nah, we'll be fine. I don't even know what is going to happen when this shit pops. What does an AI bubble mean? It's just that AI companies are unimaginably overvalued, and they're basically propping up the stock market, and there are no fundamentals backing why there's this level of like investment into AI. And the only thing that this is like bringing for us is just like eco side, if that makes sense. Yeah, this is the diagram that I saw this morning, and it fucking bricked my brain. Here's how the AI bubble is being created per Bloomberg. Okay, just so you know, it's not coming from the wokes. Okay, it's coming from the wokes over at Bloomberg. that are warning as well. You have OpenAI, you have Microsoft, Nebius, CoreWeave, Intel. NVIDIA is at the middle of this. NVIDIA agrees to invest up to $100 billion into OpenAI. OpenAI to deploy 6 gigawatts of AMD GPUs. AMD gives OpenAI option to buy up to 160 million shares. I don't even know how to explain this. I don't even know how to explain the funding mechanism here. It's just one big fucking circle jerk where the value is base boosted to unimaginable degrees. It's an Ouroboros. Let's see what this TikTok or...
Here you go.
Thank you so much. Here you go.
Thanks. Thanks so much. Here you go.
Okay, but what you fail to consider in this process is that we just generated like $800 billion, if not $1 trillion of GDP. The GDP increased by $1 trillion. It might be the same money exchanging hands, but ultimately nobody considers how good that makes the stocks go up and how good that makes the GDP growth look.
So much. Here you go.
Thanks. Thank you.
Ask ChatGPT to explain it. No, it's the classic. It's the shit-eating story. 2 economists are in the forest. They happen to walk near dog shit. One economist says to the next, hey, I'll pay you $50 if you eat this dog shit. The second economist says, sure. He eats the dog shit, gets $50 in exchange for eating the dog shit. Then they happen to walk a little bit further in the forest. There's another piece of dog shit there. The second economist that previously ate the dog shit that has $50 in his pocket says, hey, I'll give you $50 if you eat this dog shit. First economist says, sure, eats the dog shit. Okay? They keep walking a little bit further. And they go, wait a minute, we both just ate dog shit and the $50 just, came back into my pocket. Economist 2 says, yes, except we just increased GDP by $100. That's the story. This story doesn't have to be about dog shit to make a point, lol. No, it does. It does. It does have to be about dog shit, okay? And eating the fecal matter. You don't understand it. It just has to be that way. Is that a direct quote from The Wealth of Nations? Yes. And also Das Kapital. It's in everyone has only talked about it with this analog. There is no other way to describe it. Simplified in image form. Sorry for the millennial memes. Step 1, hire a friend for $1,000 to dig a hole. Step 2, he hires you to fill the hole for $1,000. Step 3, repeat this process indefinitely. Step 4, infinite GDP growth and job creation. I guess the libertarian counter narrative to this is the classic Milton Friedman thought experiment where he goes to China. I think it was Milton Friedman. He's like one of these like fucking right wing, the anarcho-capitalist libertarian or neoliberal weirdos. But basically, he goes to China and he's like, why don't you guys use more advanced tools? And the Chinese factory owner says, it's because we want to create jobs. So then he says, okay, instead of using a shovel, why don't you use a spoon then? Except that doesn't necessarily make that much sense because you can have both. You can literally continue maintaining the jobs while simultaneously improving the tech and then just limiting the workload of the average person. When Nixon went to China in the 70s, he told them they could sell them a machine to dig a ditch with much less workers, and China asked them, what would all those people do without ditches to dig is the story. And then the answer to that is, why don't you use a spoon instead of a shovel if you want to make it if you want to make it even less efficient? Except the way that China operates, or the way that China should operate, or the way that every country should operate, is that you continue with automation, but you still maintain those jobs and you just limit the workload. You lower the burden off of the labor force while keeping the wages either the same or matched up to their output. There is a reason why theorists from 18th, 19th century all the way to like the 70s basically thought that in the future, people would be working like 3 days max, 3-day work week, 4-day work week, except capitalism had different ambitions. It just improved productivity and the wages did not actually meet the output at all. And all of that productivity and the output in general, all the wealth that was generated from that process went to an increasingly smaller group of people, just less and less hands overall. That's a big problem. But people don't even want to envision a world where you could simply create more for the company that you work for because of technological innovations while simultaneously working less hours in general. It's just completely outside of our worldview. It's just not something that we ever foresee for ourselves.